try something I've never done before. Not the riding in the rain, but filming in the rain. I don't know if the raindrops are hitting the lens of the Cena 10C, but we'll see in post-production. I just turned it on, heading home after a day at work, and thunderstorms all around here in South Central Florida. I tell you, there are some crazy drivers around here. I saw someone in the back a few miles, there's a Jersey wall up, and I don't know how this car did it, but it head on into the Jersey wall on the right shoulder. It was at an overpass. He was just lucky that that Jersey wall held, otherwise he'd have been down on that surface street. Seen quite a few cars had run off the road into the median, over into the shoulder. Signs back there said the right lane is blocked up here. Probably another accident. See emergency vehicle on the side. I think that's a Florida Highway Patrol trying to get people to slow down. How many of you out there ride in the rain? Of course, it was not my intention to ride in the rain today. I was kind of hoping these thunderstorms would have passed before it was time for me to go home. But it held on just for me. I used to do a lot of this when I had Red Scorpion's predecessor. That was my Pearl Yellow 2005 30th Anniversary Edition Honda Goldwing. That was my first Goldwing and first new Goldwing. When I got Red Scorpion here, she had some miles on her and took a little tinkering to do to get her to act the way I wanted to act. And now she's doing fine. Well, apparently the accident cleared up. I was hoping to catch some footage of just how stupid people can be driving in the rain. And trust me, some of these people have a hard enough time driving on dry, straight road. Put some rain in the mix, and that's all she wrote. I got one of them pet peeves about driving or riding in the rain. And in a lot of states, it's the law that if it's raining or if you have your wipers on, you need to have your headlights on. Florida, I noticed, went one step further. They don't say if you have your wipers on. They said if it's raining, your headlights must be on. It's the law. Up there in Virginia when I was there, if you had your wipers on intermittent, you didn't need to have your headlights on. I don't know if that law has changed recently. What are the laws in your state as far as operating a motor vehicle in the rain and having your headlights on? Do you need to have your wipers going at a steady beat to have your headlights on? Does it have to, even if it's just raining, you have to have your headlights on? What is the law in whatever state you're in? And what does common sense tell you that you should do? I know, it's been said, common sense is really not that common. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be amazed anymore about the things that people do driving down the road, but I'm still awestruck sometimes when I see it. It's not so much having your headlights on. It's not so much for the driver to see, but for that driver's vehicle to be seen by other vehicles. I wonder if that's a concept that everybody can grasp. We're looking down there at the Florida Turnpike. I'm on 95. I figure why take the turnpike when I can ride this free road, and it only adds about 4 miles to my journey. Well, I guess everything's clearing up. See the sky breaking out there. It's not so ominous looking anymore. I mean, there were a lot of dark clouds a few miles back. Rain's still coming down a little bit, but not as bad as it could be. this tanker right here, he was coming up in that middle lane and hit his brake to get behind me to go to the weigh station. And he started to jackknife a little bit. I said, well, that'd be just wonderful. He jackknifed, spill all that gasoline or that flammable fluid all over me, and I'd be a toasted, crispy critter. Years ago, my first introduction to those tankers and how dangerous they can be. And when I talk about years ago, I'm talking about back in 1976, right down here in Florida on the turnpike, a little further south. One of them tankers was going down the road in the middle lane. Another 18-wheeler came up behind him. Traffic was stopped. That other 18-wheeler didn't see him and rear-ended that gasoline tanker. Spilled gasoline all over the 18-wheeler that hit him. Set that ablaze. Set the tanker and the tractor that was pulling the tanker ablaze. All the cars on either side of the tanker had gasoline spilled on them. They caught on fire. And I told myself, looking at that, I said, you know, I would never drive one of those things. Anybody ever told you never say never? Well, wouldn't you know it? About 25, 30 years later, I used to drive one of them things. With gasoline, with diesel, with heat and oil for houses. And the first time I stopped to drop a load of gasoline at a gas station, I said to myself, wait a minute now. Didn't I swear I would never do this? Well, I didn't do it for too long, you know. I got out of it. And back there in 1976, there have been other accidents like that with those tankers where they get struck from behind. I mean, they put a lot of reinforced bumper on the back there, but if you get struck at highway speed and, you know, something's going to tip over and rupture that tank, and then it's going to be all she wrote. But, you know, we got to get gasoline because we all got to get down the road. Speaking about gasoline, that's what I'm heading up here to do. Kind of ran it a little low there, running back and forth to work all week. So I got the top red Scorpion off. She's about to get thirsty. A little bit above quarter tank right now, but she's doing good. But just another cautionary tale. I know Christopher Smith was talking about that. About telling people what they should do. They should have on gear. They shouldn't do this. They shouldn't do that. You know, I say to each his own. I've traded some skin for some pavement, you know, years ago in my crotch rocket days. Rubbed the skin off both my legs between my knees and my ankle. Rubbed it clean off. First thing I did when I got up, checked the motorcycle. People told me I didn't have any skin on the front of my leg. I said, that's okay, that'll grow back for free. I got to pay for this motorcycle. Let me make sure it works. That was the attitude of the young, indestructible thinking Ghost Rider. But the skin grew back. Yeah, it did. Minimal scarring at the places where it tore off. But I guess I was lucky that day. You know, got some skin on the back of my shoulders and palm of my hands and elbows, but it wasn't as bad as my legs. I mean, I could still walk and everything. I just couldn't wear long pants for a while because every time I wore long pants, it would rub against that skin trying to grow back and rub it right off again. Whew. I guess I don't need to be grossing everybody out. Some of you probably can. Somebody might be watching this and don't even want to hear about that kind of stuff. I should have put up a warning. And I think I'll do that in post-production. The following content, some might find unbearable. I think I'll do that. But that's going to be it for now. Oh, while I'm here, I mean, I can't show you. Sometime back, when I was doing a couple of vlogs, the keen viewer might have noticed that there was a sound that Red Scorpion was making. A clanking sound, like a metal clanking sound. I hope your subscribing is an indication that you like what you're seeing. And, you can go back and check out. Well, it was in the transmission. I first started out on YouTube, filming my rides, and family members, siblings mostly, in different parts of the world, and it was my way of getting them. My overdrive, the fork for my overdrive somehow was worn out, and it kept pushing it out of gear and pushing it back in, and you hear that clank. I can't remember exactly right now which one of the videos, but it was probably even in that one where I went across that bridge. I spoke about a truck hanging off the edge of that bridge that they had closed down that bridge up there in south central Pennsylvania. Yeah, you could have heard the clanking sound there. There's another time I was riding through one of my favorite forests up there in York, Pennsylvania, and you could hear the clanking there too, when I was going house hunting up there. But so I had to take that in and get that done. I had something else done to it while I had the engine dropped out of it and the transmission. Oh, I had to put in a new exhaust manifold seal gasket, because I was getting gas fumes coming up from between the forks, and I could not figure out why, and nobody could tell me why. And I said, I asked the technician and said, based on where the exhaust manifold is situated, have you ever heard of that gasket going bad? I Googled it, looked through all the discussion forums. Nobody could ever say definitively how to get rid of that gasoline smell. Now, a lot of Goldwing riders complain about it, but I'm telling you this, I took this there to the dealership and I told them, look, I'm going to work on the transmission. When the engine is dropped, take out them gaskets around the exhaust manifold and put me some new ones in there and make sure it's torqued up right when they put it back together. Well, that's one thing they did an excellent job on. No more gas fumes coming up from between the handlebars and the forks. And look at that. Look at how steady and true that is. Now, I haven't put anything on the front forks, no kind of stabilizers, no wheel balancers, except what it needs. And even that is tuned true now. No more vibration in the handlebars. I can let go. Not that I want to, and not that I do more often, but just to show. And it was during that incident that my lights got messed up, that I had to tear her down, take the seat off, take the backrest off and all of that, and get onto there, get those wires and redo them. Found out one of my programmers, that was shorted out. And I still have about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 8 lights still not working because of the shoddy rewiring that that technician did. And even though I told him, I said, look, you can leave that. You can leave the wiring, because I'm going to do some rewiring, so don't mess with anything. Just, even if you have to put the wires back in there and not connect them, I said, I'll get to it. Well, I guess he wanted to impress me or, do a good job, and he just connected things that weren't supposed to be connected together. I was draining my battery because it was constant power to some lights there that shouldn't have been, and I'm like, oh man, might have started a fire. Anyway, got it all fixed up. Not all together, but I got the front, I redid some lights and made it a little bit more visible on the front. I want to make sure when I'm going down the interstate, when it's dark, early morning, late night, people see me coming. I got enough lights on the back, but it's some of my side lights that I need to work on. 2 of them I had to take off. I had to replace that altogether because he put them back on and it was just completely messed up. Anyway, before I start rambling on, just wanted to share with you a little rain ride and see for myself how the Cena 10C does in the rain. Maybe none of this is coming out. Maybe there's a big blob of water right there on the lens and nobody can see anything. All right, well, you all be safe. You all be careful. Thanks for watching. I set on and planned out my route to make it up to Wingding, or like I heard an automotive vlogger call it. I kind of like that, WD-40. First time I heard that, I said, WD-40? What the hell is he talking about? That's right, Wingding 40. I'm still trying to make it up there. All right, well, for now, that's going to be it. Until we see you next time. Ghost Rider, Red Scorpion. We're 10-7.